want to get back to the rink and keep going, because the atmosphere was so cool, and we had a lot of fun playing. So it was definitely special for us, and we're excited for Game 4.
We were very pleased with how we played last game. I think that was by far our best game in all areas over the ice, and so we just have to build off of that. And of course, the home crowd here helps us a lot and gives us a lot of energy out there, and it was really nice to get back home up there.
For the Red Wings, it's long been about how they are playing, more so than who they are playing. It's Game 4 between Detroit and Tampa Bay coming up. Let's take you upstairs to the booth. We bring in a guy who is now in his 18th season of describing Red Wings hockey. He's also known as Chris Osgood's commercial wingman. Ken Daniels joins us from upstairs. As much urgency as Tampa Bay has to be feeling right now, Kenny, the Wings, from their standpoint, know that they really can't fritter away a 2-1 lead.
No, not when you've already taken advantage, John, and taken home ice advantage from Tampa Bay. The Red Wings don't want to press their luck in that regard. The Lightning, with 32 home wins, by far and away the best in the National Hockey League. So for the Red Wings to have to go in there and win another one and maybe 3, you don't want to go there, because on home ice, as they are overall, Tampa Bay is the best scoring team in the National Hockey League, and they defend a lot better at home too, because they have a habit of using Tyler Johnson's line along with Nikita Kucherov and Andre Palat against Pavel Datsyuk at home for the most part, which is why the Johnson's line's numbers offensively are way down at home, because their job there is to take away the opponent's best weapons, and Johnson and company do that. Johnson's line has great plus numbers because they aren't against high-scoring lines on the road, so they pile up points, all except when they play against the Red Wings, Luke Glendening, Drew Miller, and Landon Ferraro, who did a great job on them in game number 3 and deserve a ton of credit for the win. Glendening just hustles all night long, and he took away Johnson's ice. So does Mike Babcock. For him, it's one thing to have last change. It's another to use it as a deadly weapon and out-coach the other guy. And Mike Babcock has done that with the help of Glendening in his 4th line. So the Wings need it tonight, John. They have to take advantage of home ice.
Kenny, Lightning coach John Cooper says in Game 3, the Wings, or the Lightning rather, made things too easy for the Red Wings. And from Tampa Bay's perspective, they want to make Detroit play 200 feet instead of the 120 that was the case on Tuesday night.
Oh, for sure they do, and it's all about the speed. And for the Red Wings, it's all about penalties. Stop taking them. 17 power plays awarded to Tampa Bay in the first 3 games of this series is way, way too many. Steven Stamkos has been playing in the middle in the power play. Why? I don't know. I don't know why he's not on his off wing as he usually is. And the other matchup has to continue with Pavel Datsyuk on Steven Stamkos. Much different than Stamkos against Sheahan, whom he ate up. The Wings have to continue to give no straight lines for Tampa Bay through the middle of the ice. Pavel Datsyuk forcing players like Stamkos to adjust their path. It slows them down. Stamkos is too quick, and it keeps Ryan Callahan and Alex Killorn, Stamkos wingers, from punishing the Red Wing defense on the forecheck. And playing against Pavel, it makes Stamkos play defense in his own zone. So again, it is all about matchups, and Mike Babcock has had the advantage. And John, if you had said at the start of this series, in games 2 and 3, Landon Ferraro would have more time on ice in those 2 games at even strength than Steven Stamkos, you would have given your head a shake and said, no way, but that's been the case.
What's the over-under on the number of holy jumping from your broadcast partner tonight?
17.
Okay. We should get the holy jumping counter working for our broadcast of Game 4 here tonight. Kenny, thanks. Have a great game tonight.
Thanks, John.
Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond upstairs. Wings and Lightning coming up. This could be a scary thought for you, but you're invited to try and think along with us. We'll share who we think is the McDonald's player of the game later tonight during Red Wings Live. It's all brought to you by the 2 for $5 Classic Quarter Pounder with cheese. The building sits on Steve Yzerman Drive, and his number is retired here. The captain once and forever. Henrik Zetterberg knows you can only lead in your own style. We'll talk of that next as Red Wings Live continues on Fox Sports Detroit. Kyle Quincy actually tied for the team lead with his 4 shots on goal in Tuesday's Red Wings win. We never thought we'd ever say this, but he has dethroned Henrik Zetterberg for the team lead in beard And it's not just a playoff beard. Quincy's been working on it for a while, but it comes in handy with the playoffs now here. But you could lose a small child in there.
Lustrous. I'll take it. Yeah. That's what I was going for, lustrous.
Now, has this been something that you've been working at? Is the upkeep involved?
A little bit. You know, it gets a little high, so you got to trim it up there. But other than that, just let her go.
And it's not really a playoff beard because you've been working on it for a bit.
Yeah, no, it's not a playoff beard.
We're not keeping this through the summer, though. After the Stanley Cup parade, this is probably coming on.
We'll see. But no plans right now.
Well, it gets hot and sweaty in July, and you'll see if Kyle Quincy is still sporting that thing on his face. Almost lost amidst the Wings win on Tuesday was that Henrik Zetterberg had his first playoff point of these playoffs. He assisted on the game's second goal. That ties him with Sidney Crosby for fourth among active players. Hank now with 117 points and 127 postseason games. But when you wear the C, more is always expected. And with more on that, we send you inside the ring to the bench in Trevor Thompson.
John, Henrik Zetterberg knows what you just said is very true. He's the 36th captain in Red Wings history, but he's taking his cues from the last two captains in Red Wings history, Steve Yzerman and Nicholas Lidstrom. He's the same as those two guys in that he's not a very vocal leader. He prefers to check his ego at the door, leave it on the ice every night, and lead by his work ethic. And he expects those behind him to follow, and they certainly do. But, and another sign of a good leader, he's a guy who's adjusting to the changing times. He's more vocal inside that Red Wings locker room this year because he knows he's got a younger group to work with, and he knows he needs them to hear what he has to say.
Probably more vocal this year than obviously last year. I missed a big chunk of it. But even the year before that. So this year with the young guys we have, and I think you have to be a little more vocal. I think both me and Cronwell been talking a little bit more with the younger guys, and mostly try to calm them down. Not so much telling them what to do, but stay calm and believe in themselves and not get too wound up.
And Zetterberg certainly knows of what he speaks. He's a former Conn Smythe Trophy winner, winning the trophy back in 08 when the Red Wings downed the Penguins to win the Stanley Cup. So these guys are getting some advice from a guy who has been there, done that, knows what it takes to win. We'll see if he can lead his team to another victory here in Game 4 on home ice tonight. Back upstairs to you for now, buddy.
Trev, you couldn't see it because you were talking to the camera, but right behind you as you were talking about Henrik Zetterberg was Henrik Zetterberg. He just knows when to be in the right place at the right time. Trev's back with us a little bit later in Red Wings Live. When he was in college at Maine, Ben Bishop's team lost to Michigan State in the 2007 Frozen Four. Well, he's trying to beat the state's NHL team tonight. The guys in the studio are back in a moment. They will talk of special teams needing to be, well, special when we roll on.
Special teams are always extra special at this time of year. Tonight's Xfinity look around the league highlights the top PK units in the playoffs so far. Nobody better than the Washington Capitals. They're clicking at 100% so far. Take away the two power play tallies the Wings allowed in Game 2, and they would be as well. Detroit a perfect 7 for 7 in Game 1 and a perfect 6 for 6 in Game 3. Joined by Darren Elliott and Chris Osgood once again. And guys, we talk about the importance of special teams all the time, especially in the postseason. So far, the Wings PK has been on point. Maybe that's because we've seen so much of it.
Yeah, and that's really the issue. You can't be going to the penalty box 17 times, 6 times last game, and expect to be successful. The good news is there's been success on the PK, and they look a lot more like they did early in the year when they were in the top 10 most of the season.
I think they've been much more aggressive. And these kills have come at very important times, 5-on-3 here, just under halfway through the game when they're up by 1. But really, his penalty kills, Peter Mrazek has made huge saves on the penalty kill. And they always say your goaltender is your best penalty kill, but I really think guys like Anderson has been an unsung hero. He's been very good in the penalty kill. Obviously, Glenn Denning's been great. Really, Quincy has had a great series so far. He's been huge on this penalty kill. I think as a group, they've played fabulous together.
And that last sequence, you really saw the support And that's what you were talking about, the way they were much more aggressive getting to the puck, not just being stationary in the penalty kill. They look real good.
And we talked about this the other night. If Tampa Bay would have cashed in on that 5-on-3, it might have been a different hockey game.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they had some luck off the crossbar, but overall, the Red Wings have done a great job killing penalties. They got really aggressive, especially on Stamkos in that 5-on-3, not allowing him to get that big shot off and really frustrating him. That was a huge part of the game right there, and the Red Wings were able to kill that off.
And I think the one that we just showed you as well, beginning of that third period, up 1-0. Critical timing, so you had to have a big stop. So you get the one big stop from the goaltender, and then everybody else swarming to the puck, and you got the clears.
All right, and as we saw in the graphic, Ottawa's PK has been great too, yet the Sens are down 3-1 to the Canadiens. So you can't win a series on special teams alone, can you?
No, you can't, but you have to have it as part of the mix, and I think you're getting a good view and a good blend of it, because the power play has been good, and the penalty kill has been good. Even strength, you still have to win the game, to me, at even strength.
Yeah, they could use some more scoring 5-on-5, but I think their power play has been a lot better. They've been a lot more aggressive when they're stagnant standing around. They really struggle. I think they're moving around a lot more, scoring off the rush like they did earlier when they started to get hot in the power play. That was how they scored their goal in the other game. But really, I think just a lot more effort, a lot more togetherness on the power play as well, just like the penalty kill.
And when the power play is stagnant and guys are standing around, the puck's not moving, that's when you get into trouble with the man advantage.
Yeah, and actually it's when you get into trouble in all three situations, even strength on the penalty kill or on the power play. But yeah, Ozzy talked about it. Looking for the quick strike capability. Don't just worry about getting into the zone of the power play and getting set up because we have these certain plays. If there's an opportunity there, take it. They did that. We showed you that earlier on. Zetterberg drew the double team, gets it to Applicator, and they score a power play goal on the rush.
Now, if you see you have an odd man rush, take it. In the playoffs, it's hard enough to get opportunity.
That's right.
Red Wings are averaging under 20 shots in the series so far. So when you have a chance to try and score, take it, especially on the man advantage. If you get a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, take the opportunity. If you don't score, get the rebound. They need more second opportunities here tonight in Game 4.
You know what's a special team? You two guys.
Oh, are we ever?
Oh, that's right. Up next, Riley Sheahan discusses his special playoff moment and one he won't soon forget. Back to the Joes. We continue to get you ready for Game 4 right after this.
Good play back. Sheahan in, scores! Abdelkader to Sheahan, and it's 2-0 power play goal.
Admit it, you came right out of your seat upon seeing that goal. Lungs were reinflated, fingernails stopped being chewed, grimaces stopped grimacing. At least for a little while. It was that goal by Riley Sheahan, the wing second of the game off the terrific Justin Abdelkader feed that opened up a little bit of breathing room for the Wings in Game 3. It was also a relief for Sheahan, who scored only his second goal since March 15th. And the texts that he took in made his a very busy cell phone post-game.
It was buzzing quite a bit.
How many?
I don't know the exact number. It was probably around like 30 or so. So it was good to hear from a lot of people. And I actually had my mom, my dad, and aunt and uncle in the crowd too. So it was pretty special.
Can you put that level of satisfaction in some perspective for us? Because you know how much it means, and particularly for a team that hasn't been scoring very much, to get that second goal in that game.
Yeah, it was obviously a big moment, and to get that 2-goal lead to sort of give us a little bit more confidence going into the next little bit of play, it helped and got us a little momentum. It's sort of hard to describe. It's hard to really say how happy it makes you feel, and it's just good to help the team.
Did you need that? Have you been happy with how you've been playing?
I don't think the first 2 games, they weren't really good personally. I think I just wasn't moving my feet very well, wasn't being physical, wasn't kind of playing how I want to, and Game 3 was better, and just trying to take steps forward.
Obviously, the return of Justin Abdelkader in Game 3 was huge for the Red Wings at both ends of the ice. But one of the dominoes that falls is that Sheahan moves from one of the top 2 lines down to the 3rd line, which is more of a comfortable fit for him. He had the second goal. The first was the result of a Pavel Datsyuk tip past Ben Bishop of a Thomas Tatar blast. The guy his teammates know as Tats is on the ice with Trevor Thompson right now. T.
Well, John, it's game 4, and the Wings can really take a stranglehold on this series with the win. Thomas, you know, it only gets tougher to win as the series goes on. So given that, what's your expectation from Tampa Bay here tonight?
For sure, you know, they want to play better, they want to start better, so we have to be ready for since the start. And, you know, we want to win, so we have to play hard and strong.
What's your game plan early on? What are your keys to success as a team tonight?
You know, we have to be on them on the forecheck and, you know, not give them any space and just overshoot the puck.
You guys have given them a lot of opportunities on their power play. You can't walk that thin line this entire series. How big a key is that for you tonight as a team, staying out of the box?
For sure, you know, their power play are good. We so far doing a really good job in a PK, but we have to stay out of the box, you know, skate more and not getting the penalties.
Good luck tonight. Thanks for this, Thomas. There goes Thomas Tatar. He and the Red Wings looking to go up 3-1 if they can win another home game here tonight in Game 4. Back to you, John.
All right, Trev, thanks. Trev's got post-game, hopefully after a Red Wings win, and Tats with a goal and an assist in the first 3 games of this series between Detroit and Tampa Bay. You know, the great ones just elevate their game. The Magic Man, Pavel Datsyuk, with 3 points in 3 games in this series. A little wizardry tonight could help the Wings move to within a game of round 2. More on that as Red Wings Live continues. Hey, Vegas called, and they asked, hey, how'd they do that light and image show on the ice for pregame here at the Joe on Tuesday? The crowd gathers as one to say, wow, and let's go, eh? And let's drop the puck. Game 4 upcoming between the Wings and the Lightning. Obviously, a big key in this series thus far has been the physical play. And in Game 3, the Wings out-hit the Bolts 48-26. That trend will need to continue if the Wings are to take a 3-1 series lead. And keep this in mind, the team that has scored the first goal in the 3 games of this series have gone on to win all 3 games. Here's reality. No one outside of Detroit, anyway, picked Detroit to beat the Lightning in this series. But we are reminded of this. If they can put Uncle Jesse and the Full House gang back together, we now know that anything is possible. A 3-1 series lead is huge. It's not lights out. It's lights dimmed. And the Wings know that they're going to have to be at their best to take that 3-1 series lead.
Well, absolutely. I think, I mean, really, if you look at it, any game is big. You want to get closer to that 4th win, you know, that we all talk about that makes you go through to the round. So obviously this be huge for us to win tonight.
How much does the matchup edge that you have having last change here, did it affect the series?
Yeah, I don't know if it affected it at all, to be honest with you. We got a lot in Game 1, didn't in Game 2. In Game 2, did we not get it because we were behind and chasing the game? Sometimes getting off to the good start allows you to run the bench better because you're in control of the situation. And, you know, I find that a lot. When you have more depth, you can match better. When you're dictating the play, you can match better. When you're chasing the game, it's hard.
Now, we're not here to tell you that Mike Babcock doesn't believe in the Easter Bunny and pulls the legs off spiders, but we are struck by the notion that the series tilted in Game 3, and yet he's been reminding his players for the last couple of days of this. He says, I don't believe in momentum in the playoffs. There's a new game tonight, and we've got to be better than we were the last game if we're going to have success. We'll find out if the Wings can find another level in this series tonight. From here at the Joe, back to the studio, back to Mick and Darren and Ozzy. Gentlemen.
All right, John, thank you very much. That's the nature of these playoffs. Keep taking another step forward, guys. We talked about a fast start in scoring. The first goal is keys to Game 3 for the Wings. What's the first thing on their agenda for Game 4?
Well, after watching, you know, St. Louis played last night under urgency. They played very well. The Red Wings are going to have to match the intensity and the urgency of the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight. This is going to be their best game that they play in this series. The Red Wings have to play better than they have the first 3 games. This has got to be the Red Wings' best game by far if they want to be successful. Ben Bishop hasn't been great so far. Red Wings, like I said before, averaging under 20 shots. His save percentage is under 90. If they can get in the 30-shot range, they'll be able to get 3 or 4 by him. So the stats say.
And how do you get to the 30-shot range? To me, it's on the forecheck. Both teams are going to try to establish the forecheck. So which team establishes and whichever team handles the forecheck the best will win tonight's hockey game.
The pressure was on Tampa Bay coming into the series because they were the favorite. The screws have tightened now that the Wings have a 2-1 series lead, right? They played with that burden coming into Game 4, don't they?
Yeah, well, they're the team everybody picked, but they are a team that's still yet to prove that they can do it. They're a young team, too.
Yeah, Tampa Bay really is an inexperienced team. Red Wings might be able to take advantage of that here to Joe tonight.
All right, King Peter Mrazek posts his second straight playoff shutout over the Lightning on Joe Louis Ice. A rookie netminder hasn't done that since Ilya Bryzgalov registered 3 straight shutouts in the 2006 postseason. We'll see you back here during the intermissions and again after the game for Red Wings Live. Enjoy it, everybody.
Lions tonight in this world. He who stops won't get